Welcome to Tungal Angular classes. In the last class we studied about angular displacement. Angular displacement. What is the mean by angular displacement? The angle rotated by the radius vector. The angle rotated by the radius vector is defined as angular displacement. It also to be denoted with the symbol of theta. SI unit also we discussed, that is what? Radian. Now we are going to define the another definition that is called angular velocity. Angular velocity. Coming to the rectilinear motion, we defined the linear velocity as the rate of change of linear displacement. The rate of change of linear displacement is defined as what? Linear velocity. Similar to the linear velocity, here we are going to define angular velocity. So it is defined as the rate of change of angular displacement. How can we define the angular velocity? It is defined as the rate of change of angular displacement is nothing but angular velocity. This angular velocity is represented with the symbol of omega. The angular velocity is represented what? Omega. So here we are assuming that a particle is revolving in the uniform circular motion. A particle is revolving in the uniform circular motion. If any one of the particle is revolving in the uniform circular motion, along with the motion of the particle, one more term, one more quantity is also to be rotating. That is nothing but radius vector. Actually, the particle is revolving along the circumference of the circular path, and this radius vector will be rotating about its center, so that along with the motion of the particle also, the radius vector also moving. While the particle is in the motion, let us assume that at t is equal to 0, the particle is at the point P. In a time of t1 second, the particle will be displaced to the point Q. At a time of t1 second, what? The particle will be displacing from where to where? From the point to the point Q. So whenever the particle will be displacing from the point P to the point Q, the radius vector will be rotating. Through an angle of theta 1. That is also we are saying as angular displacement. Now, in a time of t2 seconds, always the time should be measured from the initial point P only. So P to Q. For P to Q, what is the time taken by the particle? T1 second. From the P to R, the particle will be taking a time of T2 seconds, and the corresponding angular displacement will be given by theta 2 radians. What is the theta 1 radians? Angular displacement covered by the radius vector in a time of t1 seconds, and the theta 2 will be indicating what? Angular displacement for the radius vector in a time of t2 seconds. Then the average angular velocity is defined as average angular velocity is equal to total angular displacement by total time taken. So theta 1 is initial angular displacement, theta 2 is the final angular displacement. Then total angular displacement is nothing but theta 2 minus theta 1. Theta 2 minus theta 1 is giving the resultant angular displacement in a time interval of t2 minus t1 seconds. So this is a formula for average angular velocity. How can we define the average angular velocity? Average angular velocity is defined as the ratio of total angular displacement to the total time taken. W average is equal to theta 2 minus theta 1 by t2 minus t1. Now we will define instantaneous angular velocity. What is that? Instantaneous angular velocity. So what is meant by instantaneous angular velocity? In the name only, instant, at that given time interval, So instantaneous angular velocity is defined as the angular velocity of a given particle, at the particular instant of time, such type of angular velocity is calling as what? Instantaneous angular velocity. Once I am saying the definition. Instantaneous angular velocity is defined as the angular velocity of a given particle which is revolving in the uniform circular motion at a particular instant. Such type of angular velocity is nothing but instantaneous angular velocity. So instantaneous angular velocity. So the instantaneous angular velocity will be defined as limit delta t tends to 0. Delta theta by delta t. So how can we define the instantaneous angular velocity? An instantaneous angular velocity omega instant is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, delta theta by delta t. So what is the delta theta? Small change in angular displacement, and when we define the instantaneous angular velocity, when delta t tends to 0, what is meant by delta t tends to 0? The time interval will be very small for the fraction of the seconds, so that delta t tends to 0 means what? For a very small time interval, if you measure the angular velocity, such type of angular velocity we are calling as what? Instantaneous angular velocity. This value can also to be written as it is a d theta by dt. So what is the definition of the instantaneous angular velocity? The angular velocity of a given particle, at a particular instant, such type of velocity is called what? Instantaneous angular velocity. Next, it's the SI unit. SI unit is equal to radian per second. So delta theta by delta t. What is the delta theta? Angular displacement. Yesterday we discussed what is the SI unit of the angular displacement? Radian. So time means what? Second. The SI unit of instantaneous angular velocity or average angular velocity is nothing but radian per second. And the next definition is angular acceleration. Already we know the linear acceleration definition. What is the definition of that? The rate of change of linear velocity. is called as what? Linear acceleration. Here we are going to define angular acceleration. The angular acceleration is defined as the rate of change of angular velocity. So how can we define here? The rate of change of angular velocity is nothing but angular accelerations. So here we are assuming that let W1 is or omega 1 is angular velocity of a given particle at a time of t1 seconds. What I was assumed, while the particle is revolving in the uniform circular motion, omega 1 will be assuming as angular velocity of the corresponding particle at a time of t1 seconds. And omega 2 will be the angular velocity of the same particle, at a time of t2 seconds. So we consider the motion of a one particle, which is revolving in the circular motion, So while the particle is revolving in the circular motion, so it is having different angular velocities at a different time intervals, Let omega 1 will be indicating what? The angular velocity of the corresponding particle at a time of t1 seconds, and omega 2 will be indicating angular velocity of the same particle at a time of t2 seconds. Then the average angular acceleration is defined as alpha average. The angular acceleration will be denoted with the symbol of alpha. Angular velocity is denoted with which symbol? Omega, and the angular acceleration will be denoted by alpha. So therefore, alpha average is equal to change in angular velocity by time interval. How can we define average angular acceleration? It is simply the ratio of change in angular velocity to the time interval. So here omega 1 comma omega 2 are indicating the angular velocities at two different time intervals. Then change in angular velocity is equal to final angular velocity minus initial angular velocity. By time interval is equal to what? T2 minus T1. So this is the formula for what? Average angular acceleration. Next one. Instantaneous angular acceleration. Similar to the instantaneous angular velocity, it is also defined as the instantaneous angular velocity is defined as the angular velocity of a given particle, at a particular instant of time. So let delta omega is change in angular velocity, and delta t is indicating that small time interval. What we assumed here, delta omega is indicating there is a small change in angular velocity. In a small interval of time, that is nothing but delta t. Therefore, instantaneous angular acceleration is defined as limit delta t tends to 0, delta omega by delta t. So what is the notation to represent instantaneous angular acceleration? Instantaneous angular acceleration is equal to limit delta t tends to 0. Delta t tends to 0 is nothing but that is indicating a very small time interval into delta omega by delta t. This value also is equal to d omega by dt. So which is nothing but instantaneous angular acceleration. Next, so SI unit is equal. What is the SI unit for the angular velocity? Radian per second. Again time will be there, so that the SI unit will be given by radian per second square. The SI unit of instantaneous angular acceleration is given by radian per second square. This is the simple definitions in the circular motion. Okay. Next, very important question for the 3 marks question. So that is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. Linear velocity and angular velocity. Suppose if any one of the particle will be revolving in the circular motion. If any one of the particle is revolving in the circular motion, for that revolving particle, there are two types of velocities are there. Once again, if any one of the particle is revolving in the circular motion or uniform circular motion, for that particle there are two velocities will be existing. One of the velocity is called linear velocity. One of the velocity is called what? Linear velocity. And the second velocity is angular velocity. Second velocity is what? Angular velocity. Now we are going to derive what is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. Linear velocity and angular velocity. So first we will assume that a particle is revolving in the uniform circular motion. Which type of circular motion? Uniform circular motion. What is meant by uniform circular motion? If any one of the particle is revolving in the uniform circular motion, the speed of the particle will be remains constant. The speed of the particle will be remains constant at each and every point in its journey. Such type of motion we are calling as a what? Uniform circular motion. Such type of motion we assume, and we are assuming that the particle will be starting from the point A at t is equal to 0 seconds. The motion of the particle will be started from where? At the point A. Now I am assuming that in a time of t seconds, the particle will be displaced from the point A to B. At t is equal to 0, where the particle will be? At t is equal to 0, the particle was present at the point A. Once it is came into the motion, it is revolving. During its motion, it will be covering some different points at different time intervals. So in that I assume that one of the point that is called capital B, and that particle will be crossing the point B after what time? T seconds. So during that time interval, the radius vector will be covering the angular displacement by theta radians. During the time interval of t seconds, the radius vector will be covering the angular displacement of theta radians. Now, further I assumed that in a time of delta t seconds, the same particle will be traveled from the point B to point C. In a time of delta t seconds, the particle will be traveled from where to where? B to C. In a time of delta t seconds, the particle will be traveled from where to where? B to C. If the particle will be traveled from the point B to C, meanwhile the radius vector will be rotated by delta theta radians. Whenever the particle is traveling along the circumference of this circular path, the radius vector also rotating along with the motion of the particle. In a time of delta t seconds, the particle was traveled from the point B to C. In the same time interval, the radius vector will be rotated by how much radians? Delta theta radians. Now, I will define instantaneous angular velocity. Just now only we define instantaneous angular velocity is equal to what is the formula? Limit delta t tends to 0, delta theta by delta t. So here we just defined instantaneous angular velocity. Instantaneous angular velocity omega is equal to limit delta t tends to 0 delta theta by delta t. Similar to the instantaneous angular velocity, I will define instantaneous linear velocity. While the particle is traveling from the point B to point C, I assuming that the particle will be covering the displacement, linear displacement. So linear displacement is equal to what? Delta S, I assumed. For the small time interval, the distance covered along the circumference of the circular path will be taken as delta S. In a time interval of, in what time? Same time, that is delta t seconds. Therefore, V instantaneous is equal to what? Limit delta t tends to 0. Here, for the angular velocity, you wrote delta theta by delta t. For the linear velocity, what we have to write? Linear displacement by time interval. Limit delta t tends to 0 into delta S by delta t. Equation number 2. And see here, if you consider an arc whose length is equal to L, what? L. And the radius is equal to r, angle made by the arc at the center is equal to theta. I consider it is coming in the geometry. I consider a small portion of the circle, that is nothing but r, whose length is equal to what? L, radius is equal to small r, angle made by the arc is equal to theta. From this we will write L is equal to r into theta. L is equal to what? R into theta. Arc length small l is equal to radius into theta. So if you see the arc BC, so I will write for the arc BC, I will write in the place of L, I took the displacement delta S. Displacement delta S is equal to r into delta theta. Which arc I consider here? Arc BC was considered. For the arc BC, displacement delta S is equal to r into delta t. Substitute equation 3 in the equation 2. Therefore, V instantaneous is equal to limit delta t tends to 0. In the place of delta S, I will write r into delta theta by delta. So here r will be right outside and this value is equal to limit delta t tends to 0 delta theta by delta. So which is equal to what? V instantaneous is equal to See the equation number 1. What is the equation number 1? Instantaneous angular velocity omega is equal to limit delta t tends to 0 delta theta by delta t. Therefore, in the place of this value, directly I write omega instant. Therefore V instant is equal to r into omega instant, or simply we will write V is equal to r omega. V is equal to what? R omega. So this is the complete derivation for the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. What we consider here? We assume that a particle is revolving in the circular path. In a time of t seconds, it is displaced from the point A to point B. In a time of delta t seconds, it is reaches from the point B to point C. From that we define instantaneous angular velocity. Again we took instantaneous linear velocity. Again we took the ortho concept. From that a simple calculation is there. This is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. Next topic is uniform circular motion. Uniform circular motion. When we will say that the object is in uniform circular motion, when we will say that the given object is in uniform circular motion. If a particle is revolving in the circular path, if each and every point, if the speed of the particle is a constant, if the speed of the given particle is a constant, such a type of motion we are calling as uniform circular motion. That means if any one of the particle is said to be in the uniform circular motion, the speed of the revolving object will be remains constant. Such a type of motion we are saying as what? Uniform circular motion. So let us assume this portion is indicating a part of the circle, and I am assuming that at a given instant, suppose we are assuming that at t is equal to 0, the position of the particle is at the point P. So whenever the particle is at the point P, its radius vector will be represented by r bar. Its radius vector is represented by r bar. Vector we are saying means it is having the magnitude and it is also indicating the corresponding direction. So that at t is equal to 0, we assumed that the particle will be reaching the point P. Whenever the particle will be at the point P, its corresponding radius vector will be represented by r bar. And because of its motion, the particle will be changes from time to time. We are assuming that after t seconds, the particle will be reaching the another point. We say that is P dash. That is what? P dash. That means in a time of t seconds, the particle was displaced from the point P to P dash. Here r bar is indicating what? The displacement vector or radius vector of the particle. Whenever the particle was at the point P. Similarly, whenever the particle will be at the point P dash, its corresponding radius vector is given by r dash bar. Here we have to remember a small point. The particle is revolving in the circular motion. Means at any point the magnitude of the radius vector is a constant. Here we are indicating with r bar. R dash bar. What is the difference between them is? The difference is nothing but their direction only. That point we have to remember. Next, if any one of the particle is revolving in the circular path, how can we know the direction of its velocity at the given point? To know the direction of a given particle at a given point, you must draw a tangent. At that respective point. So here we consider 2 points. One of the point is a P, another one is a what? P dash. At the point P, so radius vector is equal to what? R bar. Now I draw the tangent. So when we draw the tangent at the point P, the tangent will be representing the direction of the velocity of the particle at the given point P. So here tangent is nothing but normal. Is it right? Tangent is nothing but normal. So at any point in the circular motion, the velocity vector and the corresponding radius vector. Again, whenever the particle is revolving in the circular motion, at any point the velocity vector and radius vector at that given point. Radius vector at that given point must be perpendicular to each other. Must be perpendicular to each other. This point we have to remember. Because we draw the tangent at the point P. Tangent is nothing but a normal. So that while the particle is executing in the uniform circular motion, at any point, its velocity vector as well as radius vector must be perpendicular to each other. Similarly, while the particle is at the point P dash, again I draw one more tangent. That tangent is representing what? Velocity of the same particle at the point P dash. Here we have to remember that the magnitude of either radius vector or velocity vector will be same. The magnitude of either radius vector or velocity vector will be remain same. Only the direction changes. So that here also if you draw the tangent, that tangent will be giving what? Velocity of the particle. Velocity means both the magnitude as well as direction at that respective point. Okay, at a point P dash, you draw two velocity vector. One is a V bar, another one is a what? V dash bar. Now, while the particle is moving from the point P to P dash, what is the displacement vector? Displacement is drawn from where? Initial point to the final point. Therefore, the line P to P dash will be giving the change in a radius vector. Or it is also we are calling as displacement vector. Displacement of the particle. So that the displacement of the particle, because at t is equal to 0, the particle is at what point P? After t seconds, the particle will be reaching the point of P dash. So that position of the particle will be changes. So the displacement vector will be drawn from where to where? Initial point to the final point. So that this line of P to P dash, is also indicating either change in a radius vector, or simply we will do displacement vector, which is delta r bar. Now, so here at the point P you know the velocity, at the point P dash you know the velocity, right? So by taking the velocity vectors, so I draw the parallel vector V dash to this V bar. So here G to H vector is representing velocity vector of the particle when it was at the point P, and V dash bar is a parallel vector of this vector. So V bar will be displaced here, V dash bar will be displaced here. By taking V bar comma V dash bar as the sides of a triangle, so I find the change in velocity vector delta V bar. Again, here V bar will be acting in this direction. So already in the vectors concept we discussed, we will draw a parallel vector of a given vector. Without changing its magnitude, as well as direction. Because this V bar will be acting in this direction only, so the same parallel vector I placed here, G to H. So G to H will be giving a parallel vector of V bar. Next, this is the V dash bar. Same V dash bar was placed here. So the direction of V dash bar was not changed. Magnitude is also what? Not changed. Now, here two velocities are there. V bar comma V dash bar indicating what? Two velocities. I want to calculate calculate the change in velocity. I want to calculate change in velocity. From this given triangle, delta V bar is indicating what? Delta V bar is indicating what? Change in velocity of V bar comma V dash bar. V bar comma V dash bar. Coming to this point once again. V bar is a perpendicular to R bar. Is it right? V bar is a perpendicular to what? R bar. Similarly, R dash bar is a perpendicular to V dash bar. It is also nothing but tangent. That is also nothing but tangent. So first displacement vector R bar is a perpendicular to V bar. R. V dash bar is a perpendicular to what? R dash bar. From this I will write that. Change in radius vector or displacement vector is also perpendicular to change in velocity vector. Okay. So in which direction? If you look at the diagram, the change in position vector is acting from where to where? P to P dash. The change in position vector will be acting from where to where? P to P dash. Now, H2I. This is indicating what? Delta V bar. So this delta V bar must be perpendicular to what? Must be perpendicular to delta R bar, and this delta V bar change in velocity is perpendicular to delta R bar, and also it is acting towards center. If you look at the diagram, this is a circular path. This is a what? Circular path. The change in velocity vector will be acting towards. Which direction? Towards the center. That only I do. Delta V bar will be perpendicular to the position vector delta R bar, and the direction is very, very important. The direction of delta V bar is acting towards center. Now, acceleration will be defined as acceleration is equal to what? Change in velocity by time. So therefore, acceleration A bar is equal to change in velocity is equal to what? Delta V bar. Change in velocity is equal to what? Delta V bar, and this value is equal to what? Delta T. That value is equal to what? Delta T. So here, A bar is nothing but the acceleration acquired by the particle. A bar is nothing but what? Acceleration acquired by the particle due to the change in velocity. And moreover, this acceleration will be acting. This A bar will be acting towards the center. So that this acceleration A bar is called centripetal acceleration. So what is the definition of the centripetal acceleration? The acceleration acquired by the given particle. By what? Due to the change in velocity of the particle, and moreover, which is always acting towards center, such type of acceleration acquired by the particle is nothing but centripetal acceleration. Once again, the definition of the centripetal acceleration. The acceleration acquired by the given particle, due to the change in velocity, and moreover, that acceleration will be acting towards the center of the circular path, such type of acceleration is also called what? Centripetal acceleration. This is centripetal acceleration is indicated with the symbol of A suffix C. So this is the general formula for centripetal acceleration, and some derivation is there, we will derive. Now, here this A bar is indicating the average acceleration. Average acceleration. So the instantaneous acceleration of the particle. Instantaneous acceleration of the particle is. So instantaneous acceleration can be written as A instantaneous is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, limit delta t tends to 0, delta v bar by delta t. How can we define the instantaneous acceleration? The acceleration of a given particle at a particular instant of time. So here, one diagram we drawn here. This is the R bar, this is the R dash bar, this is the what? Delta R, P dash and C. And one more diagram we taken like this, G, H, I, V. This is the V bar, V dash bar, this is the what? Delta V. In the previous diagram, the same we draw here. If you look at these two diagrams, these two triangles are saying as similar triangles. What type of triangles? Similar triangles. If these two triangles are indicating the similar triangles, the base by base, that is base of the smaller triangle by base of the bigger triangle is equal to the velocity corresponding to the R bar, that is nothing but V bar. So V by small r. If those two triangles are representing similar triangles, base by base, side by side. So here delta V by delta R is equal to, we will write V by R. So from this I will put the value of delta V bar. Delta V bar is equal to V by R into delta R. V by R into what? Delta R. So which is taken from these two similar triangles. Substitute the equation 3 value in the equation 2. Therefore, instantaneous acceleration is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, in the place of delta V bar, V by R into delta R bar by delta. So here, this V by R value we will write first V by R into limit delta t tends to 0 into delta R bar by delta. So here, if you look at this value, limit delta t tends to 0, delta R bar by delta t value is nothing but instantaneous velocity. Therefore, A instantaneous is equal to V by R into V. Therefore, this value is equal to V square by R. That acceleration is also calling as centripetal acceleration. So AC is equal to, what is the general formula for centripetal acceleration? V square by R. Already we know that V is equal to R omega. If you substitute V is equal to R omega in this equation, we will get AC is equal to, V means R omega whole square by small r, that is R square omega square by R getting cancelled. So therefore, centripetal acceleration is equal to another formula, R omega square. So this is expression for centripetal acceleration and uniform circular motion. So this is what about the theory of motion in plane. in the next classes we are going to discuss about the numericals. Thank you.